if you just started in martial arts in general, you may not have it, but what you want to do is explore a little bit, sign up at a school for, 90 days, try what they're doing and see if it fits your needs. If it doesn't, then figure out what you didn't like about that and what you were looking for, and you'll be better able to make that choice. Why is this part of this method? Because of how I teach and what I teach. Because I'm going to share that with you. I know this is going to sound crazy. I had some young person, I don't know, maybe he's probably in his early 20s, called me yesterday, and he's like, do I do boxing or karate? I go, no, I don't do either one of those. He goes, well, I want to be a professional fighter and I want to make money. And I said, well, maybe you should try UFC, programs, mixed martial arts stuff, or boxing. I said, but if you're good enough to do that, boxing, you can probably make more money. Very strange, but I'm not going to manipulate that guy and get him to come in here and tell him that I do this, or I'm going to train you for this mindset. That's just that shows poor character on my part if I did that. Other weapons in Shuai Chiao. I would say, a long time ago when Shuai Chiao was more for soldiers or for palace guards or what have you, then the weapons would be more important. And then it's like Shuai Chiao has gone under multiple names throughout its development, and I think it's gone through periods where it's been more tactical and more sport. It's kind of had this ebb and flow. And but I would say, based on the police stuff, that understanding a pistol and a baton would be really important. And I know that teachers within Shuai Chiao, they most of them would probably have a pistol of some sort and potentially understand how to use a baton. Me personally, I live here in the West. I live in Texas or live in the U.S. And if they're legal where you live at, a blackjack, a staff, having mace, those are practical weapons that a person can carry on them. And to me, Shuai Chiao is a practical system of development. And I think that weapons like that, if you wanted to incorporate something into your training, would be very useful. They're concealable, they're something you can carry on your person. So, if you want to get a pistol, you go and, depending on your state, you get that license and you're able to carry that pistol on you. It depends on the level of what you think of what self-defense is. Some people are totally opposed to guns. There's carrying pocket knives, or knife that you can pull out, but saps and blackjacks and batons and mace, I think all of that's good stuff. But if there are traditional weapons that are taught with it, like in Tai Chi, swords and sabers, spears, staff, those are all readily available for forms and things like that. There's nothing like that I know of in Shuai Chiao, especially in the Baoding Shuai Chiao. But I don't know, maybe, and there's more than one system of Shuai Chiao in China. Maybe some of the other ones do. I don't know. Falls and break falls. So a break fall, I would end up with my hands like this. With a Shuai Chiao fall, I would end like this. Now, sporting competition, this is great. I diffuse the force of the fall, and it's not that you can't do that in Shuai Chiao. I sometimes do that, especially if I'm doing a lot of repetitions of throws. Or, I feel like the force is going to be too much, or I'm going to override it, so I'll do something to diffuse the force or the roll. But practically speaking, the falling in Shuai Chiao is great for self-defense. Why do I say that? Because my head's not exposed when I fall, and my hands and my elbow are less likely to hit the asphalt or the concrete. And again, my head's not exposed. So even if the person tripped you or knocked you down or threw you intentionally or not intentionally in a fight, right? Some people just naturally do something, or hook the leg and fall over or something. Or they pick you up and drop you. I don't want my head exposed, so I don't want somebody to have a follow-on attack and kick me in the head or kick me in the face. So with Swajal, at least this way, I can at least protect my head from potentially concussion or ruptured ear from somebody stomping on the side of my head. And with my elbows in this way, I'm less likely to get, a boot in the face and shatter my nose or my eye sockets, or cut my face, bust my teeth out. To me, that falling like this, again, I'm going to fall primarily on muscle tissue, and I would rather have a few bruises than a shattered face, or a concussion from somebody stomping on me. So I do feel that the falling in Swajal is overall is better in that regard. Do I do break falls? Yes, I do. And I show people how to do both of these in class, but I try to get them to focus on this type of falling. What are you training for? This is more of a question that people should ask themselves. I'm sharing what I do and how I break it down very detailed. Most schools or instructors would not do this. I would like to do the same thing for the other programs that I also teach within my school. I think it's important. What are you training for? What does the person want? Again, self-defense, sport, they want to go compete in forms, and do they just want to do a traditional martial art to learn forms and weapon training and something for their health and exercise and something that they can put themselves into? That's really important for the person to ask those questions. And it's also very important for the instructor to share with the person their method. And if they, just like I said earlier in this video about the guy calling me yesterday that wants to be a pro fighter and make money. I have zero interest in that, and I'm not interested in taking the guy's money for a month or two just to get his money and not be what he wants, and then maybe not even what he wants. If he actually came in and had a conversation with me and I explained to him what I did, he may have a change in mind, or he feels that that's a great way for him to move forward. I don't know. But very important to know what the people are teaching you and if it's really going to fit your needs. The shelf life and training. So to me, and people will agree with me and disagree with me on this, but probably about 16 to about 38 is, that is going to be the average person's time frame for being a competitor in combat sports. The wrestling you could do, more years after that, in a competition if you wish. But getting hit in the head and kicked in the body, most organizations won't even, well, if they're reputable, they're not usually going to let you compete after about 38. And why is that? Because maybe the person's in great shape. There's multiple variables there. Say the guy started competing in his 20s and through his 30s, and he's had 30 fights, or he's going to wrestle 20 times. Well, I can understand that guy still competing. He understands how to do the things. But somebody that just started and they're 40 years old, and these promoters and these events are concerned the person could have a stroke or a heart attack, or they could get a concussion, all kind of issues. So a lot of that also too is liability from the promoter. And I don't think it's acceptable to share with somebody that somebody comes in, they're 42 and they want to be a full contact competitor and they've never done anything. The amount of time they have to do to train to get to a certain point and then go compete versus training for what's important. Maybe taking care of their family or taking care of themselves, keeping somebody from hurting them. So it's like a lot of people that do martial arts take kind of an unrealistic view on stuff, meaning they think because they're doing these things that it must mean that they're this. But look at basketball. There's junior high, high school, college, pros, and the capacity level and the ability, it goes up incrementally with each of those. You don't really see a lot of professional athletes over about 40. And there's reasons for that. And but I feel that the average person should be able to come into a class setting. Yes, he knows the people and all of that, but he or she can still get in that spar and get in that wrestling and get in that application training, but without pushing themselves when they're in a different age bracket to go compete when they don't really have any real prior experience doing that. And it doesn't mean they shouldn't try. I'm not saying that. And there's always these unique situations, but on average, we all have a shelf life as it relates to competition, competitive things in any sport, and we should just be realistic about ourselves when doing that. So anyway, that's how when I'm talking again about my method, I would be more willing to share that with somebody what I just said to you than to just because they're willing to pay me money and I'm going to take advantage of this situation when I think that this could potentially not be the best situation for this individual. So anyway, that's basically my method, and just please understand, I do my own cross training within my classes. I think that that's very important. That my teacher's done that. Master Chang, he trained Tai Chi, he trained Xing Yi, he trained Lohan. He did all of these other things, but there's also his Shuai. And the same thing with my sequel, and that's what I'm trying to share. I think that it's very commendable that teachers go out of their way to learn and develop other systems and then share that with other people. But me personally, I feel the test should be over what Shuai is. If for no other reason other than to maintain it. And that doesn't take away from the person's understanding of learning these different methods of training within the class. And if you're actually teaching these other things, then you should be able to give them up. If they need validation or you feel they need validation, then provide them rank in that, my situation. Provide them rank in Wing Chun. Provide them rank in, this other thing that you do and have a test for that. That way they can really validate it and say, well, I got a black belt in Shuai or I got a blue belt in Shuai, but we also did this, and this. Well, that doesn't help the person to validate it when it says that it's a Shuai blue belt. You have to see it from both sides of it, But say that you taught some, I don't know, jiu-jitsu, Japanese jiu-jitsu also. Well, wouldn't it be better for them to have two certificates if they put all of that effort to comprehend that and understand that system? My personal opinion. But like I said, Shuai is very unique. It's very challenging. It's hard to learn it, and I think that should be celebrated, and it should be uniquely what it is. And so anyway, I hope you liked the video, and I hope it gives an idea to people that maybe interested in coming to me to train for one reason or another, or they're just curious about what I do or what a Shuai program would be like. And again, there's many more different versions than what I do. I just have a very direct and simple approach to this stuff that I think it makes sense to me, and I hope it makes sense to people that train with me. So thank you for watching. If you watched both videos, I know they're long, and I hope it gave you some room for thinking about this stuff, or encourages you to want to try Shuai or for me or from someone else. Have a great day.